We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again. Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What up?
Episode 176. It's Friday. What is good?
Nothing much, bro.
How can you believe that 176 episodes?
I can't believe it. I mean, you know, it's been a bunch of trial and error, ups and downs, and working through times where we couldn't pod, but hey, we here.
We made it happen. Hey, listen, man, we got some things to talk about though, man. Can we get that music going? It doesn't matter what your name is.
Brotherz podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Brotherz podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Brotherz podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Brotherz podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
Try Jesus, not me. 'Cause I throw hands. Try Jesus, please don't try me. Because I'm fine.
My favorite part of that is what he says. My favorite part of this, he says, I have no problem laying these hands. That's my favorite part, though, bro.
Yeah, man.
And listen, so we were talking about, so episode 176, right? First off, shout out to my other brother from another mother, the homeboy Chris, the bad guy who jumped on Tuesday's pod, though, man. It was dope episode. Got a chance to kind of talk about, get some different perspectives on a couple things, right?
Yeah.
This time around, this has been kind of, the Oscars were still fairly fresh, right? So now you got more time for people to break down the everything, right? Who said this? Who said that? If this was that, if that was that, and everything like that. So it's been kind of interesting, though, bro. I got a question for you, Ace.
What's up?
I'm going to ask this flat out, and I want to know what your perspective of it is.
Okay.
With all things considered, and when I say with all things considered, with all things that we know and have just generally accepted as acceptable speculation consistently, right? About Will and Jada, right? Is Jada toxic, bro?
No.
You don't think Jada's toxic?
No. Jada is Will's wife. So everybody else with this perspective of everybody else's perspective of who she is, what they go through, they do not live in that house. So frankly, I couldn't care less what anybody else thinks about Jada.
No. Not what you think about what somebody else think about what you think about. I'm saying when you put Jada's, from what you know, when you put, because a lot of their business has been put out there from her here recently, right? Especially over the last 3 years or so between her table talks, from interviews, right, that she's given, the speculation over the years about their marriage, right? I'm not talking about what somebody else would think about what you think. I'm saying, given her resume
Right.
of
And I'm
what
telling
she's
you,
done,
it doesn't change my answer.
okay,
No, I don't think that she's toxic.
why
I
is she
think
not toxic?
I think she's not toxic because I think she is exactly who Will wanted. I read his book. I know what he did to get her. And I know what he thinks about how she thinks. The thing is that the problem with Jada was Will tried to love her in the way that she didn't want to be loved. You know, we talk about this thing with love languages and understanding, like, a lot of times what people mis assume about love languages is you love people in the way you think they should be loved versus loving them the way that they want to be loved. So with that being said, no, I don't think she's toxic. Again, all the stuff that we hear about outside of the red table talk, which is stuff that Will already knows about, outside of the entanglement, which Will knew about, outside of all of that stuff, that's their house. And so the thing is that people are making their assumptions based upon the stuff that they're hearing. So again, none of it's factual. It's just what they're hearing. So my thing is that even with think about it like this, bro. You said we've been podding for 176 episodes.
176.
Right. So even with us podding for 176, when we have our pre-production meetings, is additional information that we don't necessarily talk about on air. We air out what we want to air out and what we want presented, right?
Fact.
So there's other things that's behind the scenes that people never know. And so they only are going to judge us off of what we present. So that's going to be where the information is coming from, is what's presented. So again, I don't think it's toxic. If it was toxic, Will would have left. The thing is that I see a lot of stuff. I mean, I get it. When the August Alsina stuff hit, a lot of people were really judging, right? Because
Yeah.
even before that, we heard about their swingerish relationship and their marriage and what it is like that. But at the same time, it's still what's perceived and not what and what's presented. And so they live a different life. They're in a different tax bracket. And so, like I said, I'm not swayed by the masses, bro.
See, I think that the thing that made the August Alsina thing, it was almost like the confirmation, right? Everybody's like, oh, we always heard it. We always knew that something was fairly open with them, right? And I think that was the first big, oh, okay, yeah, the rumors are essentially true, basically, though, man. But I think that here's what I'm wondering, though, right? Is it that, and this is just being devil's advocate here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what makes her, if for someone who says she's toxic, right? Could it be that what makes her toxic is that Will doesn't recognize her level of toxicity? Like, what if she is and Will just doesn't know to move on completely, or know, like, because of who she is to him? Like, I'm not gonna be one to just be an advocate. Hey man, just go ahead and get a divorce. Have the marriage that you feel is necessary and best suited for you. But I guess what I'm wondering is it part of the whole thing about someone being a toxic lover, is that somebody could be completely nose blind to the level of toxicity.
But here's the thing, bro. Again, it's just okay. Here, thank you for bringing this to my brain. So it's the same thing with Russell Westbrook, right? If you talk to anybody, everybody is pretty much saying, "Oh, Russell this, Russell that," right? So the perception is that that's the law now because everybody's saying it. So that's what it is about Russell. So at the end of the day, all of this stuff that people are feeling about their relationship is still perception. Nobody in his family is coming out saying Jada is this or Jada is that. It'd be different if somebody close to them were saying, nah, bro, man, I wish Will would get out. Ain't nobody saying that, but everybody else. So my thing is again, I'm not swayed by the masses just because everybody is pretty much saying that right now. Because if you listen, most of the static is coming from the comedians because they're defending Chris.
They're defending their boy.
Right. So that's what that
Which
is.
I don't like. So here's the thing, which, by the way, separately, right? I like it, but I don't like it. At the same time, I like that they are coming to the defense and they're basically saying, oh, okay, no, he's a comedian. So you got to use your platform to stick up for him. However you see fit. I get it. At the same time, I do feel like it's cloud chasing a little bit because you're riding the wave to me. But that's a whole nother thing.
To me, it's a difference in riding for your boy versus destroying a human being, because they are dogging the mess out of Jada, and that's their defense mechanism. So my thing is that if you want to defend Chris, then you go after Will, but you ain't. But you going after his wife though.
Oh, I've seen some people. I've seen people. About this, I don't think she's been doing him any favors in terms of how he's looked over the last 3 years. At the same time, listen.
Why is that?
Well, let me just say this. Let me say this. I think, to be honest with you, though, right? I think that while I would say that the things that she's brought up over the past 3 years or so doesn't do him any favors, I also think, though, right, that they could very well be the healthiest their marriage has ever been over the last 3 years because of the next level of honesty. And I want to say this. This is the way you actually why.
No, I got a question about this.
Okay.
What has she said over the last 3 years?
Okay. So over the last 3 years, right, she's brought up, which I don't think is something that should be necessarily public, her displeasure with the boy Will in the bed. He couldn't get it done to her. That was true.
That is not what she said. That is not what she said.
Okay.
That is not what she said. That was the headline of what she said. That's not. I heard the interview. That's not what she said. That's not what she said.
I don't know about that, bro.
I don't care what you don't know about, bro. I'm speaking. What I'm saying is, I heard the interview, so it's different.
Reading between the lines, people are here. Listen,
no, we're not reading in between the lines. But this is not reading in between the lines. This is facts. So we're not reading in between the lines. At the end of the day, I heard what she said, and then see, here's the problem with what media outlets do. They take something and they make it a headline. So my thing is that when you just look at the headline and see what the transcript of it was, yeah, I see how that they could spin that. Just like how they tried to spin the whole Doc Rivers saying that, oh, he was calling out Harden when he was calling out the whole team. And we'll get into that later. But the point is, headlines make you think one thing when the truth is another thing. People did not understand the context of her conversation because they didn't listen to the whole interview. They took a piece of what she said, and then now that's the headline.
I get that. Being that that's so, right? I get that there could have been more narrative around it, but at the same time, those words came out of her mouth.
That is not what words that came
out
of her mouth.
But then the other part about that too, right, is that I think that before, like we said before it was this big so I think, and while I don't think that it was Jada's doing, I think that when August was the one who brought out the context of that stuff, right? So then I think that it's one of those things where I think that usually it's like, all right, well, we've always been able to manage to keep our things behind closed doors. So if it's just speculation, if it's just rumors, those are just that. Nobody's ever had any factual things behind them. And I think that the reason why I don't necessarily blame her, but I still put that on her because that was her relationship. That was something that she was supposed to have kept in check. The way Will, you never hear any of his, whatever he does, come out. Like when he came and said, no, when you was with him, I was also doing my thing, but you would have never known until Will actually said that, because it's almost like Will had all, if he had some partners in the past, he had them all signed NDA so that way
Charles, again, you just said exactly what I'm coming back with you at, because Jada never brought that out. So again, if the other party involved brings it out, that's not on Jada. And then on top of that, they were on a break. So the thing is that if they were on a break, that's considered like a separation. That is their personal business. It'd be different. If she came on the Red Table Talk and she brought that out, she didn't. So that's not her
Is it?
will.
Is it? Let me ask you this: does it make her look any more? Does it make her look any more toxic? Right, that she had this entanglement.
No.
Wait, with her son's friend. Right. So think about this. Right. You have kids that are, you have kids that are older, right? So you got Tari who's pushing 21, right? But let's just say Tari is a girl, right? And you wind up hooking up with one of Tari's, Tara's friends, basically, though, man. It's like, all right, let's just be honest. Is it of all the people you had to bring it that close? But this was younger, so it's like, does that make that certainly can't help with the picture that people have of her?
Charles, August Alsina is 29 years old.
Now,
okay, so when that happened, he was what, 25?
I don't know how old he was. Hey, wasn't he like 21, 19?
Here's the thing. If they're on a break, if they're separated, and if they're on a break, whatever it is within their marriage, if he's over the age of 21 and she was out to have some fun, that is on her. But again, she didn't bring that out. It was brought out. So what is it? And the problem is their whole life is public, pretty much. So what I'm saying is, it would be like if you had an affair, or if you and your girl was on a break, and you was with somebody, and you was good until the chick brought it out. So because the relationship is public, again, it's everybody else's.
So this is my thing. I don't think that, here's the thing about it. I think that for the people who might say that she is, right, I don't think that it's limited to just her and her actions. I think that, to me, when you list out the reasons that I think people would say that she is toxic, those are the same kind of things that I would say, okay, insert name here. And that applies to me. Like, I think that, like, this is my thing.
When your information that you presented is not even factual information. So again, this is what I'm talking about. You're doing exactly what I'm talking about. You're presenting what the majority narrative is about what's going on in their relationship. It's not factual. It's what people perceive is going on. So again, the answer to your question with the information that's provided is no, it doesn't make her look toxic, because that is their relationship. And only he knows what he can get, what he can deal with and what not. So again, you're going off a majority feeling of what's going on with them.
I understand what I understand that that's who I understand. I understand that there's the sentiment that you can say, well, who am I to tell one person was toxic? If you like it, love it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, to me, that according to you, if this is somebody that you are with, are these things that you would be okay with? Are these things that you would say, no, that's okay by me?
It's okay by me if I was on a break, which means I'm probably doing something along with my wife, and that was a choice that we had, that we were on a break and she was able to do what she do and I was able to do what we do, and then we decided to come back together. Whatever happened on that break during that time, that's between her and whatever happened, especially if we choose to come back, right? So that's the first thing. So that wipes it out. The second thing is, what was the other one about her saying, oh, the second thing, again,
there's the Tupac comparison as well that he's put out there.
What Tupac comparison?
There's always comparing him feeling like the Tupac.
Charles, that was brought up on the Breakfast Club when Will was on the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne the God asked him about that. Will addressed it. He said, I used to be jealous of their relationship. I even was in the same room with Pac and couldn't even talk to him because I was jealous of their two relationship. But that was before me. So again,
so that's one thing about so this is the thing. The reason why I wanted to get your perspective on it, only because I think the thing about with them, they've been together for so long, right? That I was mainly I brought this. I mentioned this on a post. Shout out to the homie Chris again because I was just like, you know what? I was like, you're talking about somebody who's been married to somebody for 20 some years or more, right? Over 20 years. And when you look at the duration of their marriages, yeah, people are going to have ups and downs. But I when it came to Jada in particular and how everybody's jumping on her, I'm like, it would be very easy to judge somebody by their absolute worst moments, or what you perceive to be their worst moments. But what you never hear, right, are the good things, right? And unless you hear, like you might hear, the kids talk about how great of a mother she is. You might hear Will, like, listen, at some point, she has to be something in order for them to still be together. Like if for him to not be able to walk away from it, it's something, right? So it can't be that she's a total cesspool of negativity. I think that it's something genuine to them, but I think that when you look at how long they've been together, and you only know the bad, right, or judging them just by that, then yeah, it's easy to call her toxic, right, without knowing anything else. For somebody who's been alone.
But that's the thing. Again, through the whole 176 episodes of this podcast, I have always been one that stood by what people tell me until otherwise proven guilty. So again, I read Will's book, and so I know the stuff that's happened. What he presented has happened between them two, as far as where their disconnect of love has been. And Will is guilty of stuff, right?
Yeah, but you never hear Will stuff. Nobody talks to. Because
that's what I'm saying. The book is out, bro. So I mean,
but he doesn't. He said I've done some things. I didn't have to read the book, but he hasn't named names. No names have came forward. See, I think
no. See, again, when I'm talking about the book, it has nothing to do with him cheating. It has to do with how he loves Jada, which has caused her to push her in a different direction. But that's in any normal relationship. People have tiffs with their spouse or their significant others when they can't seem to find a way to love each other the way that the other one wants to be loved. So what I'm saying is he spells that out clearly in the book. Prime example, in the book, he talks about this grandiose birthday party that he threw for Jada. Not going to go into all the details. Long story, less long. I think it was her 40th birthday, something like that. He rented out some extravagant island, flew a whole bunch of people out, did all this. They had activities, this, that, and the other, and Jada was not feeling it. So much so, he did this grand production. He filmed a documentary about her life and went and found like old stuff of her grandparents, all the way back to the slaves that owned her, did all of this immaculate stuff. And that happened on a Saturday. She told him that night to cancel whatever you had for Sunday. And he was like, you don't even know what I got. She said, it doesn't matter. Cancel it. They had this big old thing, didn't talk for a long time. And it was all because Will was trying to love Jada the way he wanted to love her versus what she really wanted to be loved like. Another example, so we can move on. She never wanted a wedding. Will did. And of course, Jada's mom did. She caved in for that too. So what I'm saying is, Will is he's a very forceful person. So he took ownership for a lot of the stuff as to why him and Jada had tiffs. So what I'm saying is, yes, publicly, because of the perception and what we hear, because you don't have that other side, all you know is this side. So primarily, people are going to just gravitate what they hear.
I still like and believe in Will and Jada. I wanted to play devil's advocate to hear.
Oh no, I know what you're doing.
I laughed. You know what's funny? I laughed about that. I thought about that because I was on TikTok.
Yeah.
Saw a dude who had like 1 million. This dude has almost like 5 million views, but like 1 million likes of this video. He's in the car saying, "This is how I listen to this song now," and it's J. Cole. Don't save they don't want to be some. He says, I want that real love. Uncle Phil love. Light skinned Uncle Phil love. And then when the Jada and Will love, he turns it down and then brings it back in when it's time to go. And I fell out laughing. I thought it was hilarious. I said, now let me ask my dude what he think about that. But that was hilarious though, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, so this is the other thing too. So like a lot of the comedians that have came out, bro. People have just been responding, giving their 2 cents. You know, Jim Carrey has some things to say. A couple of other people have some things to say. Dog, I can't express how much I love TikTok and how much I find information and news and stuff on TikTok. It's the ultimate guilty pleasure I have in the rabbit hole. So I'm on TikTok, right? And I see this girl pop up. She says, "Oh my gosh, y'all will not believe what the people on the Bird page is that Twitter. You ain't gonna believe what the black people on the Bird page are saying and doing to Zoe Kravitz, Ace Kennedy." The first thing I had to do is I had to just go back because I forget how absolutely stunningly gorgeous that Zoe Kravitz is, right? Absolutely beautiful person, right? Got a pretty boy for a mom, for a daddy, pretty girl for a mama. It made sense that she's absolutely gorgeous, right? But Ace Kennedy, have you ever had something on somebody, right? That you just stashed in your archive that you say, you know what? I'm gonna wait on it, and I'm waiting. It's almost like you might have that Uno, and you play Uno, and somebody's thinking they're about to Uno out. And then you pull out not just any card, but you got that draw four in the tuck. You've been waiting all game. Have you ever had one of those scenarios where you've been waiting to drop some receipts on somebody?
Oh yeah, 100%. But I don't want to miss this before we move on to the Zoe Kravitz. Like Donnell said, Will did resign from the academy.
It doesn't. It's not that big of a deal to me. Listen, he only won one in 20 years anyway, so he got it.
And the disciplinary actions was coming down anyway, so he just kind of jumped ahead of it.
I don't listen. I'm gonna be honest. He got it now. You can't, like, regardless of if you try to take it away from him, you can't make me unsee that he got it. So I don't. I saw that. I had to verify that.
It ain't like Putin getting his stuff pulled.
You already gave it to him, so yeah, you can say that you took it back, and there's receipts of you getting it, of taking it back. But I also got receipt that you gave it to him, and that he gave a speech about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Zoe.
Yeah. And I know that especially married people keep receipts, right? Sometimes you might see your spouse who's doing something that she despises you for doing, right? You might leave the toilet seat up, you know what I'm saying? But then you catch her, you might take a whole picture of it, right? This is that time. So when you the next time say that you never do it, or when you try to get accused of it, boom, you got the receipts right here.
You know who used to be good for the receipts. There was somebody in FTMG.
Oh my God. Oh, he was the receipts king. He was the screenshot king of it, though. Bro. Nobody had better receipts, though, man. Nobody. That is hilarious, though, man. But so Zoe Kravitz, she posts this picture of her at the a picture of her at the Academy Awards, right? And she's basically like, hey, yeah, this was my address before I saw a black man assault another black man on stage, or whatever, though, man. She said something real slick under this thing. And Ace Kennedy, Black Twitter, they was ready for it. It seemed like, for some reason, they've been sitting on these receipts for literally years. They were sitting on these receipts. So somebody replies back and says, how are you gonna hold on, because I want to find this thing here.
Basically, are you saying that they drug her like she was in euphoria, bro?
Oh my gosh, man. Listen. Okay, so apparently, okay, there we go. I had to pull this on up. Okay, so listen. So they basically say, well, how you gonna talk about two black men being violent like that, or whatever, when all day, every day, you love to celebrate your relationship with Alexander Wayne? Wait a minute. I didn't know anything about Alexander Wang. So I had to go ahead and Google Alexander Wang. And apparently Alexander Wang has been drugging and raping men for years, right?
Is this your game? Huh?
Listen, fashion models are that. I'm assuming that he is a fashion designer, but they said he's been drugging and raping male models for years. Now, the thing that makes this interesting about that is that I'm wondering, like, why haven't I heard that? Well, apparently he had NDAs where he had them assigned. They settled out with them, and they basically had to sign NDAs. Well, some of them recently came out and broke their NDAs and was speaking about it. And they were like, every chance you get, you like to celebrate his birthday. You like to talk about how great of a friend he is. So don't try to act like you seeing some violence or something brand new, because you riding with somebody who get down far worse right now. And they dropping receipts on receipts on receipts about this, bro.
Bruh, not my Catwoman. They ain't doing that to her like that.
Listen, Ace Kid, it gets worse. It gets worse. She says, yeah, I think somebody said, yeah, I think, I'm paraphrasing, I think that you just mad because Will wouldn't let you date Jaden Smith. Wait a minute. That's casual, right? That's a very casual thing to say. Then I had to go back and I had to look at this, right? Somebody else dropping receipts. So some years ago, Zoe Kravitz is doing an interview with a fashion magazine, GQ, one of the Vanity Fair, somebody like that, one of the big ones. And she talks about a time where she was kind of involved with Jaden Smith. And when I say involved, I don't know that they were dating, but it seemed like they were kind of, they had a thing that was going on. And so what was crazy about this is that she's saying, yeah, I was just really feeling him. She said it was just something about his swag. Like she thought he was so cool. And she was like, when I was in high school, I wasn't like one of the cool kids or whatever. But she was like, oh, the boy Jaden Smith just has so much swag. And she was like, the boy Jaden Smith, this, that, and the other. And the crazy part about this is that in the midst of her saying this, she said, then I had to like catch myself and be like, whoa, this dude is 14 years old, right? So I'm like, all right, you know what? She's like, 14, I gotta watch myself. So people are like, you low-key was a pedophile when it came to your relationship with Jaden Smith, because even despite that, you did go on some dates with him. And this is when she was like in her maybe early 20s, but Jaden Smith was still like about 14 years old, as she said, though, man. But she just sounded like she was so infatuated with Jaden Smith and so goo-goo-eyed behind this kid, basically, though. And people were like, listen, if this was another man describing this relationship about another woman, he would get crucified. To talk about how he was just so in gaga about some 14-year-old girl. Now, I bring this up because I've seen that recently happen with Drake. I think that what's been interesting is that they've been kind of saying that for years, Drake and Billie Eilish have been like really good friends for a couple of years. So she just turned 18, like I think last year. So people are like, well, how are you such a great friend as somebody who's 30 years old? What are you doing being that kind of a great friend to a 16-year-old, basically? And people were implying that, in Hollywood and in entertainment, there's this history of guys who just be preying and grooming these young girls, though, bro. And so they were like, you'd be looked at like one of those guys, right? Steven Tyler, who had the baby with the 14-year-old girl, basically, and paid her off, and people never even talk about it. But it's crazy to me, bro, because when I look at that, people had receipts. It was printed. What made it worse, Ace Kennedy? Listen, it don't stop there. It don't stop there.
Bro, they dogging her.
They don't stop there, bro. They basically said, okay, now you want to comment on black people, because in this same interview, she apparently said, yeah, you know what? I basically was saying, I'm paraphrasing here, I never really embraced my black side like that. You know what I'm saying? When I grew up, you know what I'm saying? I was like the only black kid with all of my friends. I wasn't introduced to hip hop. And she specifically said Y'all didn't like to watch Tyler Perry movies. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't. And but people say, wait a minute, what do you know about Will Smith and Chris Rock? Why are you even commenting? Because to you, apparently, being black is like being in a Big Pimpin' video. And after that, you know what I'm saying? Go watch you some Medea. Like, bro, they were dragging her all day long, bro.
That's crazy because you're a product of your environment. So I don't know how they raised her, bro. And so again, I understand like why people would take offense of, oh, this is what you think black people are like. Oh, you just think we just eat a bunch of watermelon and some chicken.
And eat
like
some chicken.
Yeah.
Is this what the other black people do, huh?
Right. But at the same time, I mean, you are a product of your environment. I mean, we see that. I mean, it's a fictional show, but we even see it like Bel Air, right? You look at Carlton, bro. Like he's struggling, which I still got to watch that last episode too.
Same here. But I think it's crazy because, you know, her dad is Lenny Kravitz. He's a rock star.
Yeah.
But it ain't but like maybe 2 or 3 black rock stars that we identify and we say, oh, yeah, he's one of ours. Now, mind you, I say he's one of ours from the standpoint of I don't know anything about Lenny Kravitz, right? But I know that he did a song with Jay-Z, right? Produced by Heavy D, matter of fact. But I think that it's something to be said, though, bro, about how disconnected she appeared to be in saying that, but not just that, on how long people been holding on to it looked like somebody could not wait for her to say thing.
Yeah.
And they was on her, bro.
Yeah. I only know Lenny Kravitz because of I ain't gonna say the only reason I know him, but the main thing I know him for is being in the Hunger Games.
Damn, if that's all you know, if that's one of the things you know for, dang, that's, you know, it's funny.
He had a dope part in games.
So you know what's funny, man? My brother Ken put me on the Lenny Kravitz when he had the dreads. He had the dope guitar riff, and it was cold, though, bro. And I'm not gonna even hold you. Lenny Kravitz is like 50 years old. He's in incredible shape, though. He's ripped, and I know that all the chicks still like Lenny Kravitz, though, bro.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's unfortunate, bro, because I loved her in Batman, bro. That's my Catwoman.
Hey, man, listen. Somebody said, now you see why we ain't promoting your Batman movie like we did Lupita them for Black Panther, because you already said you ain't one of us, so you ain't getting that kind of, like, people was roasting and dragging, and I felt terrible for her, though, man.
That is
brutal. They was relentless, bro.
Yeah. Oh, dang, I forgot what else we was talking about.
Receipts. Did you see Black Chyna, bro?
Listen, Black Chyna brought that all on herself, bro. She
set it up.
So the girl Black Chyna gets on one of the socials and she's talking about yeah, I'm out here single mom. I'm still out here making it though, and I'm out here doing it by myself. I had to give away 3 of my cars. And so the boy Tiger comes in and is like, well, shoot, I pay $27,000 a month. I mean, a year for my daughter to go to school, for my kid to go to school.
47.
Oh yeah. No. His is 40. His is 40,000, and Rob is 37,000 because Tiger was asking him like, yo, how'd you get 3,000 off? Like, can I get that plug? So, but basically both of them was like, listen, we have our kids between the time frames of like Tuesday through Saturday. And, you know, I pay for all the medical bills, like the insurance, all of this. So no, I ain't paying you no child support. Like, nah, like out of here with that.
So just to be more specific, like they like to say, she says she receives no support as a single mother from both Rob and Tiger. And they jumped in, and this boy said, because listen, I don't know whose part is worse, right? Because the homie jumped in and says, I pay $37,000 a year for my daughter's school. Like, listen, I think that their kid gotta be in elementary school. I don't know what school. What do you learn?
Somebody's yearly salary, bro?
Listen, And then it says I pay for. I handle every single medical expense, all of her extracurricular activities, and this is Rob Kardashian saying, and I have my daughter from Tuesday to Saturday. And he says, why would I pay child support? Because to that point, you might as well be paying child support if I have the kid with me for more than you do, right? Ain't that how it look when you have primary custody?
Right.
Then on top of that, though, right? Tiger comes in and he says, I pay 40 for my son. And he lives with me Monday through Saturday. So why would I pay child support? Like, listen, bro, that means that she only has her kids on Sunday and Monday, right? She only has the 2 kids on one day, right?
So she could be working.
She is basically a single mom, not like a single mother, not supporting.
She's single and a mom.
She's single and a mom. Right. She is a mom that's single.
Right.
Bro, I saw this and I laughed so hard though, bro, just because. So I get that the whole thing behind this is that she was basically saying, you know, I'm having this moment where I'm this realization. I'm woosaying and I'm getting rid of stuff and blah 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 blah. I don't got no support. It's just me. And I think that people say you don't get no support. You mean to tell me you ain't getting no spousal support, right? Nobody is funding your lifestyle. So them 3 cars that she ended up getting rid of, it's like maybe, just maybe, you were just living outside of what, you know what I'm saying?
Living outside that means.
Yeah, and I listen, not want to count pockets. You know what I'm saying? If she got 6 cars, that is still way more than what you and I have combined. If she had got rid of 3 cars, that still is a good bit. But I do think that it's one of those things where I think that guys in general typically bring that up a lot, right? When you have even joint custody, right? And you say, I got joint custody. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, like if they with me half the time, with you half the time, why should I even have to pay anything, right? If we splitting everything though, man. So
I feel that. But my thing is, the thing is her statement was very misleading because here's the thing. What happened if her followers went in on their social media and blew their stuff up like they
right.
wasn't?
Right.
Because already, just like your people that hate Jada, they all on Jada, and so it's perception.
One more win for the City Boys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got all this movement. In football, the boy was it Bruce Arians?
Yeah, he retired.
Well, he gonna be in the front office or something.
I got a feeling he's not all the way retired, bro.
I heard he was going in the front office.
Yeah, but I got a feeling, bro. Like something tells me that here's what I think. What I think happened, right? I think that Tom Brady was going to retire because for some reason, and I don't know otherwise. This is where you always get on me about reading in between the lines and believing what people say, right? Because Bruce Arians and Tom Brady has refuted everything that I'm about to say that I think happened. But I think that what I believe happened, bro, is that Tom Brady and them was going back and forth, and I think he didn't appreciate how the boy Bruce Arians would be kind of trying to show him up in press conferences, call him out. He's a made man, right? I think that Tom Brady says, you know what, I don't want to retire playing football. I just don't want to play under Bruce Arians no more. So I think that his retirement was basically kind of the move.
Like
that
him
the force that it was him or me. And so I think that when he unretired, I think that it was because when he unretired, I think that they basically had made it to where somebody said, you know what, bro, we need to keep Tom. We think we got a team that can win the Super Bowl. And with all things considered, we appreciate what you did for us. We got to go ahead and have Tom back because we still got everybody on staff. So I think that it was an agreement that in order for Tom Brady to unretire, that Bruce Arians would have to step down. But I think that they did it in a very graceful way because they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to retire him in the Ring of Honor. We're going to give him a front office job, whatever. But I think that I think that Tom Brady just wasn't rocking with him like that. Now, with that being said, Bruce Arians has came out and says all this stuff that said there was beef with me and Tom Brady, that's all a lie. So he's basically telling me that what I'm telling is not correct, but that's what I believe.
Yeah. Well, bro, that was a little small tidbit about football, but I need to talk to you about this basketball stuff because the boy Doc Rivers is back in the news again, bro, for talking about his stars. And the headline is that Doc Rivers called out James Harden. So what is the Charles Venus version of this story?
You don't know what I think, bro.
What you think?
All right. Here's what I think.
No, I'm gonna have to get the sound. I'm gonna have to get that sound clip of the CSI. Doom doom.
Let's suspend the law and order.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I think, bro. I think that what's happening, bro, is that Doc Rivers is seeing that they ain't gonna win the championship with James Harden.
Oh God! Because of the game, though, bro.
Let me tell you the reason why I say that, bro. All right, so when Doc Rivers and them won the championship with the Celtics, right? That Celtics team I'm not gonna say they were loaded with talent, but they were loaded with vets. Their bench was deep. They had Walter McCarty. They had a dope bench, right? And so it was so that way when the starters were out, that they didn't lose out on anything at all when in terms of the rotation. And I think that what's crazy about that is that he's basically saying that, oh yeah, when the backups come in, there seems to be a drop off, but there's a drop off only when James Harden is playing with the backups, not when Joel Embiid plays with the backups. Because here's the thing: they had to trade a lot of their depth to get James Harden. So now you throw off the rotation. No more Steph Curry, that's out there, that's in the mix. The people who you had as backups are now starters, right? You had Andre Drummond who would be able to come off the bench. So if Joel Embiid wanted to take a breather, now he could, right? You had somebody who was an all-star, right? You get James Harden out there. James Harden don't play that kind of defense, right? And I think that Doc Rivers, it's just, like I said, you will never, I didn't read this. This is me reading in between the lines what Doc Rivers is saying. I think that Doc Rivers is looking at when James Harden is in the games without Joel Embiid. And I think he's thinking, damn, this is what everybody be talking about, bro. This is what everybody say when it comes to how James Harden really plays when it matters the most. That's my interpretation of this. Now, mind you, when I saw it, it made me smile, bro. Because I think that
Harden became your new Tony Parker.
Maybe. I admit it. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, I think that what he's basically saying is that James Harden plays good as long as he's playing with Joel Embiid. But not like KD, where KD is still going to do his thing regardless of who's on the court, right? I think that those are the kind of people who you win championships with. And I think that that's where, when you say, well, what is it about somebody, right? It's not even the defense. It's that James, they're basically saying our team looks different when Joel Embiid is not out there with James Harden.
Okay. Yeah, but again, it was one of those things that I don't think he was necessarily calling out James. I think he was calling out the team. He did say, like the ball wasn't moving around. So, what I'm saying is I don't think it was a malicious thing. I think he was just answering honestly. Whereas I think the Ben Simmons thing, he could have answered that completely differently.
He was honest.
He was honest, but he could have answered that differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying is he had to double back his response because of said response. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he basically hesitated when they asked him, hey, do you think you can win a championship with Ben Simmons? Like, that's where that's a little bit different. But if he just like, look, I'm looking at the game, James Harden gets the praise when they win, and you know, he's gonna get the blame when we lose. So at the same time, the ball has to move around more. I don't necessarily think that's a call out. It's just an assessment of the team. I think that's different. But of course, the headlines are gonna run with, oh yeah, he was dogging that boy James Harden out.
Well, the write-up has always been, right, that James Harden is the dribbler. That's what Giannis called him, the dribbler. You pound it, and you give the shots that you don't want to. And listen, I listen, bro. I'm watching. I told you, I'm watching him though. I got my eye on him though, man. And I would love for him to prove me wrong, and I will be the first to admit it, bro. But listen, if he doesn't win, but this. If he doesn't win, I can guarantee you, like Charles Barkley always say, I can guarantee you either way, one way or the other, that James Harden doesn't re-sign with the 76ers. Right? If they, I don't think that they're going to win this year. So he has the option again for next year, right?
Right.
But
I think he going in though.
What's going to be so if you do that, right, then that means that you're going to have James Harden at LeBron's age making $50 million a year. And maybe that's going to be the new norm in the NBA. Maybe that's not even a big thing. But right. I just wonder if you're the 76ers, right? If you were just doing straight up James Harden for Ben Simmons, right, in draft picks, that would have made more sense. But now that you had to give up so much of your depth to get him as well, I think that it makes him not less effective, but it makes the team so different that it's not the same dynamic beforehand, right? And I just wonder if Doc is looking and he is just like, all right, bro.
Well, I think the other thing too is they're looking at if they lose, then Doc is out, because the reports already have come out that they want to bring D'Antoni in. Like they trying to have a full reunion over there, bro.
Listen, bro, what is it? What has D'Antoni done?
Produced offense.
Okay, but no championships. He's had some MVPs.
But bro, it's one of those things, right? We talk about loyalty, right? So Morey wants to bring D'Antoni, and he got his star back, Harden. So again, if you can bring the band back together, I'm just telling you what the rumors are.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think that D'Antoni got to be one of the most overrated coaches in the history of NBA, bro. By far one of the most overrated. I mean, it's literally all you did is scored a bunch of points.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, your other boy returned back to the court. Boy, PG.
Okay, he did. Listen, he did what PG do.
Which is what?
He put up the numbers. He did. He looked like Paul George.
He put up the numbers, and he was essential for them winning. They came back from 25 points down, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you though, bro. I did like seeing Paul George out there. I try to tell you every time, he has the best overall game in the NBA to me. Fluid. Maybe
he stole the ball from Spider 3 times. I know. And the other thing is, he single-handedly just sealed the fate of Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert will not be in Utah next year.
You don't think so?
Nah. Here's the thing. They already got rid of Ingles, right?
They just re-signed Gobert last year to a big contract, max deal.
Bro, they are not getting rid of Spider. The rumor has been circled like since COVID. So we had a 2-year break, right? To where the tiff was out with them as far as Spider and Gobert. Plus, when I sang the national anthem, Spider told me he ain't like Gobert. So
insider news.
I'm just playing about the last part, but I did talk to Spider when I was singing the national anthem for real, straight up. But all I'm saying is if that's the case, bro, if you the organization, who you getting rid of? And the reports already came out that Dallas is interested in Gobert.
Dallas is interested in everybody, bro.
I mean, I get it, but at the same token,
okay, so this is my thing. This is the problem that I have. The problem that I have with that, right, is that it's Utah. So with Utah, I said this before about Oklahoma City. I said this about Detroit, and I said this about the Nuggets as well. For the most part, they're not top free agent destinations, right? And so I think that the big thing about it is that because they're not top free agent destinations, you have to hit it out the park for your draft picks. And I think that Rudy Gobert is homegrown, very much like Donovan Mitchell. And I just don't really see how you get rid of somebody because you'll never be able to get the same in exchange for him, right? You're so I think that Donovan,
Yeah,
Rudy
but
Gobert.
you're one of those people that have very much been outspoken with saying that after a certain amount of time, you got to break them duos up. They've been together for a minute, man. So I mean, at the same time, you're not getting rid of Spider. You like it's almost like Spider's the name of the team. You're not getting rid of him. So the thing is, you can get another big man. Like if I'm them, listen. If I'm them, I'm getting rid of Gobert. And
I don't think Gobert. I don't think they. So you know what I think about that. I don't think that Gobert is the problem, and I don't think that they get rid of Gobert.
I don't think that he's the problem either. But listen, what I'm saying, bro. It doesn't matter if he's the problem. The chemistry with the team. I mean, if he's a problem with the team, but if the star is having a problem with him, they have a problem.
That's true.
So what I'm saying is, if you can get a young dude like Christian Wood, right, that can come there and be athletic and do some of the same things, and you still got Whiteside or whatever as your backup. I'm just saying, if
I understand what you're saying, I'm just saying to me, listen, bro, you'll never get equal value, right? And you won't. And this is my thing about it. You'll never get equal value for Rudy Gobert. I think that listen, he's that good to me, right? It would almost be like it would be as equal. It would, to me, you could say the same thing. Like if Donovan Mitchell just asked for a trade, like you'll never be able to get
100%. But which one of them are you not going to get the most value for?
I wouldn't trade either one of them.
I mean, I get that, but you're going to have to do some convincing to make them boys sing.
Well, yeah, you do that because see, here's the thing about it. I think the difference between like Dame and CJ, and even to some degree, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, is that those two guys are guards, right? They need the ball. I think that Rudy Gobert doesn't. And I think the problem I think with Utah is that Utah, their second best scorer comes off the bench, right? With Jordan Clarkson. I think that their problem is that Rudy Gobert is the second leading scoring starter on their team. And I think that what they're missing is another starter who can give you 20 points. That's what their problem is.
So I'm just asking you, would you trade? And I'm not talking about, I know there's more particulars in it. I'm just talking about the main pieces, right? Would you trade Gobert for Siakam?
Maybe, but then you give up. Then you're completely changing the identity of your team.
But you got to do something because whatever they doing ain't working.
Here's my thing about it. I don't think that it's not working because of the pairing, right? That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying, bro, if the two main people on the team can't get along, that is a lot to do with chemistry, bro.
But I get that. But are they not getting along for basketball reasons, right? Here's what I'm saying.
If it doesn't translate to what I'm saying is, if it's one thing, like when you saying, look, we gonna all be professionals and get out here and do our job, but we know that it's just easier to play with somebody that you actually get along with. You play basketball.
I agree with you, but here's my thing about it. Dame and CJ were like best friends, and it wasn't working out with them.
Basketball-wise, though.
Basketball-wise. And it didn't matter how cool they were off the court.
Right, so that's different, but that's a difference. So what I'm saying is, just because it works basketball-wise, because on paper it works basketball-wise, if the two people can't get along off the court, that can affect your on-court play. That's what I'm saying.
Not nearly to me as much as the on-court. So here's the difference. Here's what I mean. The reason why I think that James Harden is a better fit for Philly than Ben Simmons isn't because of Ben Simmons scoring. is that it opens up the floor, it opens up the paint and everything like that for Joel Embiid, because you don't have to worry about that extra defender dropping down. It's the same reason why I think that Russ didn't fit with the Lakers, right? Not that Russ, turnovers and all other stuff aside, I think that Russ hasn't been scoring this year like that. So you can drop down, you can cheat on defense, and it clogs up the lanes, because now it just, it doesn't allow you to do what you can do as a big man. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think that Rudy Gobert, if the argument was that Donovan Mitchell's like, I can't get to the hole because Rudy's already there, then that would be one thing, right? I don't know how you resolve that, but I don't know you trade him though.
So what happened to Shaq and Kobe then, bro?
Shaq and Kobe
that worked.
Yeah, but see, that's my thing about it. I think that Shaq and Kobe, everybody knew, right? And Kobe was vocal about that. And I think that people
off the court relationship affected how they played on the court. So that's what I'm saying. That's you're not saying, you're saying exactly what I'm saying.
And I understand
that it's more public. That's the only thing that you're saying.
Here's the thing about it. But for the same reasons why the Lakers traded Shaq and never got back equal value, and they never got back for years.
100%.
So
but
I understand that.
Trade Kobe, which is exactly, again, everything you're saying is exactly what I'm saying, but in the other scenario, their off the court relationship affected their on court play. The star was unhappy, so they got rid of one.
If you had to, you got to get rid of Gobert, right? You got to get rid of Gobert. I wouldn't do it though, but you got to get rid of Gobert in that scenario. I guess I'm saying I just don't know what that. So like the Spurs got a bunch of really good young guys. So let's say you trade them to like the Spurs, you get a young good guy, but then your defense looks way different though, bro. Because
but bro, listen, the thing with the Jazz, right? They have been this middle of the road team for the last 6 years. Right, like they start out with they start out strong. They look promising. They look like they can go all the way. They get closer toward the playoffs, and somehow it drops off. And they never really. There's no promise, right? So the thing is, I mean, shoot, you think about it. The last time that the Jazz looked like they was gonna do it is when they dogged Oklahoma City out of the playoffs when Russ and them was still playing. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is that, I mean, at again, according to Charles Venus logic, you got to do something, because it's either them two or the coach. And I think Snyder's a good coach.
I think Snyder is a good coach. And listen, I do agree. I'm going to be consistent. I think that the problem that they have, right, is the same problem that Portland has, right? Is that they're okay. So because of their record, they're always going to be this middle of the road team. They're never going to get a lottery pick. But they're not going to get one of those. They're not going to get a lottery pick, one of those franchise changing players. They're always going to have to hope that this pick that's going to be a 10 to 15 pans out to be Donovan Mitchell, that they make an all-star, or Rudy Gobert for that matter, though, right? And I think that the issue that they have isn't the fact that those two aren't getting it done on the court together. It's just that they need someone else in addition to them. So like with Portland, for example, I think that it wasn't that Dame and CJ didn't work. It's just that I don't think that they could have gotten the third guy, because they got Norman Powell, right? When they got Norman Powell, Dame got hurt, right? So they had to trade him.
Yeah,
I think they just need another guy. That's what Utah needs, another guy who can score 25 a night.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, bro, what you got up for the weekend?
Hitting the beach, man. I'm hoping to be laid out, getting some sun, but I'm already mad because I saw that it's supposed to be raining a couple days and we out there though, man. So I'm hoping it's just that tropical weather where it's like it might rain, then it's gonna be sunny, whatever. But either way, I'm looking to do a lot of relaxing though, bro. What about you?
This weekend, supposed to be hitting a birthday party for somebody, and then other than that, bro, don't have no solid plans. But I'm definitely. Oh, bro, the girl Sarah ain't never seen Atlanta, bro.
Listen, I've been delaying on watching the new season, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and I might have to put it on today.
Well, I'm gonna delay it until I get her caught up because we gotta have to watch the first 2 seasons to get her caught up. Because I'm like, I can't have you didn't watch Dave, but you ain't even watch Atlanta.
Watch Dave.
Dave?
Oh.
Yeah, I know you don't care about that, but I'm just saying that Dave is a good show. But anyway, well, cool, man. Look, we appreciate y'all, man. As always, we are the Slash Brothers. Join us every Tuesday and Friday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time.
7 o'clock Eastern.
That's right. And yeah, Ace Kennedy, Charlie V, 176 in the books. We out. Oh, bro, hold on. I forgot. So the girl Charlie comes in. She says, Dad, I have a brownie for you. And I'm sitting up here playing the game. I'm like, okay, baby, hold on. Let me finish. So I beat this person. And, bro, she comes up and she gives me my brownie. And she says, Happy April Fools.
Brown E.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig
of all
it,
time.
sucker?